Hello.
Anna, Alfred, pleasure.
Pleased to meet you.
I have a few questions, 19 to be precise,
Brilliant. Bring 'em on.
about the direction of your final major project, if you don't mind.
Oh, of course. Always a pleasure to talk about
Alright,
it.
sweet, well done. I'm going to kickstart this with question 1.
Wonderful.
The concept. What was it? Why did you choose it? How did you get there?
Well, it's any work I do, it's always very personal to me. I see my work as a type of therapy, self-therapy. I like to create things that remind me of things that have happened in my life. And in the last year or so, I've been quite connected with my emotions and been quite observant of them, having an outer perspective and taking a few seconds sometimes to just look back. And I've noticed that life is forever changing, it's forever up and down. And it's something I've really been connected to. It's been at the top of my head and it's been annoying me. I kind of just wanted to capture it. I wanted to capture it as a positive thing though, as an encouraging thing. Reminding myself that it's going to be ups, but there's always going to be downs as well. It's it's quite a personal thing, I'd say.
This is a time of reflection.
Yeah, it always is. With any art I create, it's always influenced by nature, but not the nature that's around us, sometimes the nature that's within us. Because we are just as a natural organism as a fucking leaf outside. And that forever changes. So my concept really started from the energy flow and how kinetic energy rises, hits its potential, but it's always got to have a fall for it to rise again. It's like making me think about energy and how it flows. And I really just wanted to catch that in a sculpture, let it move. I wanted things to move, to start happening. But yeah, it was mostly based on the flow I have seen in my life, a lot of my friends and a lot of people around me.
And this is what you wanted to achieve?
This is something that I wanted...
You knew an end result?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to achieve my own version of it. I wanted to show an audience, or whoever takes a second to look at it, what I see our flow to be.
Of course.
It's quite a challenge, but it's something that I really, really wanted to do.
Well, you speak of flow, letting things happen naturally. There was not, I can imagine, too much thought on timing, schedules.
No.
No, not at all.
Things happen. You can never plan.
No.
Only way, there's a really good quote by Alan Watts, the only way you accept change is to just flow with it and start dancing with it. You can't plan things.
No.
Because life gets in the way. Life has already planned you a whole story. And if you just flow with it, you'll never get disappointed. If you plan, you will. That's why I wanted to be here. I wanted my whole concept to come out of me naturally, just like the whole making has been. I'm the type of artist to just lay everything out in front of me and let it flow out. Whatever happens, however chaotic it is, something will come out of it. I did a rough timetable, but I did it because somebody told me to, and it's been somewhere in the back of my book.
No,
but you can't stick to things like that in life. I think you cause yourself disappointment as well as other people.
And in this 10 weeks, this project, no time planning?
Not too much, other than, the night before I'm sitting in bed going, what do I need to do tomorrow if I wake up? Well, could have sand that down, could have do that. I mean, but I might wake up in the morning and feel crap and not want to do any of that and just want to, watch a movie on kinetic sculptures or just sand. You can't plan things because you don't know how you will feel in 5 minutes' time.
Okay. Has anyone influenced you to get to this point?
Oh,
Are you
definitely.
looking into certain
Yeah.
artists, philosophers?
Yeah, Alan Watts has always been a big influence in my life.
Mm-hmm.
His quotes just make sense. He almost uses the simplest of words and just makes sense in your mind.
Saying so much by saying so little.
Exactly. Yeah, totally. I've been looking at quite a lot of, kinetic sculptors, and everybody's got their own thing, and everybody wants to make their own concept. But you never get more influenced other than what's around you. I like to look at shapes and tones and patterns in nature. I like to find curved and circle things within certain things in forests and trees. It's all around you. Sometimes you just got to stop and look. You don't have to have the internet or a load of books. It's all around.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I really wanted to capture a lot of black and white photos with my camera. Not letting the colour distract, just letting the shapes be a definite thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's just a natural process, and that's what the creation actually has been.
Mm-hmm. And these resources, the materials you've been using, they've come from that, this,
Oh, totally.
the outdoors.
There's no other way about it with me.
Mm.
Last year, I started working a lot with wood. I really had a strong connection with it. I learned how to let it work with me as well as me working with it. It's never over dominant. I never work with the wood and it just, it does what it wants to do. But just vice versa. It never just works with me. It does its own thing because we are both natural things, you see. And I learned a lot about it last year. A bit, thickness, how to work with it, what will come out, and it really influenced me to do a lot of work. I had a little break between that, wanting to adventure into other natural things like copper. Copper really brought me. But something said to me, go back to your roots. You know what to do here.
Mm-hmm.
You want the materials to be something you're already connected with, but a concept to be completely new. And that's what I've done. I've worked a lot with all kinds of different wood for this project. Pine, ply. Materials have gone bad and wrong. Shit wood, cut wood that's just poor, snapping. And then you take beautiful blocks of really dense wood and you can sand it to like a pebble. Gorgeous, mate. Gorgeous. What you want to look at.
Mm-hmm.
It soothes you, soothes your eyes, soothes your soul. It's lush. I've had to go back to the wood.
Mm-hmm. So things have suited you well, have worked well, but also things have worked quite appallingly.
All the materials I use are always an organism of their own. Even though they've grown and we've cut them and they've had human interaction.
No.
Grain has already happened.
You can't
The
decide
growth.
where it's going to go.
No, you can't decide what colour it's going to be. You can't decide when it is going to crack and when it isn't, how the grain flows, the size. You've got to work with it as much as it works with you, but it teaches you things. It teaches you to be patient. It teaches you to be observant. It teaches you to really, really look at what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, wood teaches you to get to that perfection. And I had to go through a lot of shit plywood, snapping at my eyes after I'd put so much energy into it. But it had to teach me that.
Yeah.
And that's all about the flow.
It's a learning process.
Because I would not have been able to jump up to make the sculpture I have now if it wasn't for that wood completely destroying me.
No, of course.
It's all part of it. It's a
Okay.
natural flow.
Superb. Would you have done anything at all differently?
No.
No.
For the simple fact of you can't change what you've learned and what you can't learn. What I would change is time. I always say this, I think any artist would say this, time is a really big thing. Art like this can go on forever and ever. You never can be quite satisfied with it. Or well, you sometimes can be, but you know there's always room for improvement. But I couldn't change anything for the world because it's taught me what it has.
Mm.
And it's still changing. This is the beautiful thing. The sculpture is still changing. So whatever I would have changed will change.
Yeah.
And has changed. It's the time, really. The pressure of a deadline doesn't cause a natural flow. But at the same time, it also influences you and gives you a bit of a push.
Mm.
But yeah, I would have probably started a bit earlier, beginning of the year.
Well, 10 weeks ago, we were assigned this project. In the beginning, in the start, we had to formulate an idea to then work with over this time.
Yeah.
So initially, we were asked to make a proposal.
Yes.
A proposal being a concept you have in mind,
Yeah.
an idea to work with and to flow with.
Yeah.
So from the 10 weeks ago, has it gone a bit off course, would you say?
It has in some ways. I knew I'm doing science next year. I knew I wanted to create something that will help me flow into next year, help me kind of adjust into next year. And that's why I wanted to start with the kinetic sculpture. The kinetic bit was the starting point, the flow, the movement. And it kind of, I started looking at the flow of natural things. So an artist called Anthony Howe creates these beautiful sculptures out of steel. He places them in natural environments and they just flow.
Mm-hmm.
The problem, you see, that this is my initial idea. I was like, wow, this is amazing, this is what I want to create. But over time, you start really thinking about the mechanism and how this actually works. And you realise these things can't be handmade. These are the type of things you've got to type into a computer and have perfectly cut out. And I think that's cheating. I love to have that connection with the wood, and that's one thing I've learned and developed actually from going from an idea of just a scientific idea to what my outcome is now, is I want to be in touch with it. I really want to be hands-on. I want to feel that smoothness when I stand it. I want to feel that roll going in because it's satisfying. I don't care really what tutors think. I'm happy because I've been therapeutic throughout this whole time. But in a therapeutic state, it's really done me so much good.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I feel the audience will feel as well, having that interaction, because I've gone from having a concept of having something moving by nature to having a human interaction.
Mm-hmm.
That is why.
And you've
Because
developed.
Yeah. Because I've had that interaction with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've known from that and feeling that satisfaction of having, Barbara Hepworth is a really big artist for that. She really enjoys feeling her sculptures and feeling the actual outcome she's made. And that's something I wanted the audience to feel. I want them to have the opportunity to wind that handle, have an initial start, initial idea, an initial movement, to then step back and have those moments to see the actual motion happen. But it's that initial start that really does develop you, to give you a second to stop.
And we're here now,
Yeah.
not long left,
No, at all.
and well, as said, this is a time of reflection. And
Yeah.
last question, do you feel happy? Have you achieved? Do you feel what you set out to achieve?
Always, anything I create, whether I'm happy with the outcome or not,
Mm-hmm.
the process I've gone through is something that gives me pleasure, gives me time for myself, my own mind, my own concepts. It develops me, makes me happy. With the actual outcome, I feel it could have been smoother, but that's all part of it. Maybe it means something, maybe I'll look back at it in a few years' time and think that was just another one of my ups and downs. But it's made me happy inside, and I hope it makes a lot of people stop and think, and maybe just find a peaceful second.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And I'm happy for you. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Superb.
Goodbye.